In Consumer Corner, we take a look at trends creating a buzz here in China. On today's show, we'll discuss group rentals in China. With graduation season coming, the living and working conditions of college graduates has become the focus of online media recently. Recent news about group rentals may surprise you. According to the Beijing Daily, an apartment of about 960 square feet was rented by 25 graduates. It is located in a high-end residential building near the East 3rd Ring Road. This is very close to Beijing's central business district. Due to the ideal location, rent is expensive here. An apartment of 860 square feet rents out for $1,300 per month. However, this apartment rented out beds for 25 young men. Each of them is charged $130 per month for the bed. This is not a secluded case. The high profits made on group rentals have made this a common practice. High profits can be earned because of a bad job market and high rent prices. According to data from BA Consulting, the average monthly rent for one apartment in Beijing reached nearly $600 in the first 6 months of this year. However, the average monthly salary for college graduates was only $770. It's very difficult for these new graduates to rent an apartment by themselves, especially in the downtown area. If job seekers want to cut down their costs and commute, then a group rental is the only solution. Group rental landlords divide the apartments into tiny spaces with flimsy walls. Sometimes they pack the apartments with beds and rent the apartment like a hostel. Unlike many hostels, though, these apartments are rarely maintained by the owner. The living conditions in these group rentals are typically very low. The group rentals face serious problems and hazards. They are often overcrowded, which leads to other, bigger problems. Many are considered ripe for the spread of disease and sickness. They also create an immediate fire hazard. The number of toilets is often far too few. Not to mention that the bathrooms are not properly maintained in the shared living spaces. Typically, every aspect of the apartment is unsanitary. Since too many people are sharing one apartment, the group rentals are always unlocked. This makes the property susceptible to burglary. The electric outlets for group rentals are often overused. This would be a huge fire hazard. Additionally, due to the different living habits and schedules of the renters, there are often disputes within the apartment. Other property owners living nearby the group rentals find this troubling. They feel that the group rentals ruin the value of the whole building. With large numbers of people, the elevators are overused. The fire hazards could put their families in danger as well. Also, the smell and bugs might fester out of the group rental rooms and into shared spaces. The group rentals have been regulated or banned by local officials in many cities. A Beijing housing department had issued a regulation this year. The regulation ordered homeowners to divide the house by the original structures and rooms. A ban was placed on the group rentals. However, the ban was only for apartments with divided spaces of 54 square feet. Many net users support the idea of banning the overcrowded group rentals. One net user analyzed, quote, "This kind of house should be banned. A tiny space is full of risks, especially in the summer. These crowded tiny rooms will encourage the growth of bacteria and diseases. With too many electronic appliances, residents are making a fire hazard. Additionally, they would have no space for privacy." Another criticized the behavior of the landlords and real estate agents, quote, "The government should have controlled and regulated the market. Those landlords and real estate agents only think of their own interest and money. Who is there to care about the living conditions of the residents?" On the contrary, many net users disagree with the idea of prohibiting group rentals. One net user wrote, quote, "I don't think the thing we need to consider is if we should allow group rentals or not. It's time for us to reconsider the reason why so many people are living in such poor conditions. The government and society should do something to improve their living conditions. Simply banning group rentals would lead to more homeless people." Some net users suggested that the real problem should be tracked to individual residents. One wrote, quote, "No one is willing to live in those poor conditions. The risk from group rentals are much bigger than the money saved by cheap rent. Those renters should get out of the big cities like Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. The second or third tier cities are much better and more suitable for human beings to live in." With high housing and living costs, the reality is that many people are being forced to live in poor living conditions. Local governments could put a limit on the number of people allowed in a group rental, or they could do something to improve the living conditions of renters. This story creates a striking image that could seem nightmarish. When people imagine a country as populated as China, they imagine people taking up every square inch. A story like this shows that the nightmare is real for some. Some of the residents might actually be happy with their accommodations. It gives them freedom to live away from their hometowns. Also, they can live with their friends. Granted, they probably need to ignore the hazards to do so. As the central government plans on moving millions more into cities, it should also prepare to improve living conditions in cities. Otherwise, Chinese cities might have too many fires, disease, and unemployed people to deal with. A start for improving the urban living conditions would be to lower housing costs.